The plans for multiple cameos in With Love, Meghan Season 2 by both Netflix and Meghan Markle herself are all going out of control right now. It's all over the place, and it's beginning to hit rock bottom. Now, we know a lot of this is all related to the setbacks and the constant issues that CEOs Greg Peters and Ted Sarandos are dealing with on a daily basis related to Meghan Markle, but it also has a lot to do with those out there like Gavin, Newsom, and Kamala Harris having a lot of problems now, even with Meghan Markle herself. Let's get into this. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So we already talked about the whole Gavin Newsom situation, that whole fiasco between himself and Meghan Markle, which was actually quite unexpected, but what's even more unexpected has a lot to do with what's going on right now with Kamala Harris on the set of With Love, Meghan Season 2 and exactly what happened there. Now, we all know that Season 2 and its reshoots that are ongoing until the later portion of this month, they're approaching the tail end of reshoots unless things have to be reshot for other episodes. So far, it's looking like they're going to wrap things up in just a short number of weeks from now. However, what's interesting here has a lot more to do with more ongoing drama between Meghan Markle now and another politician, quote-unquote, Kamala Harris. Alright, so this is where it really gets intense. Now, we already know that Meghan Markle is desperate for attention. She is desperate to do anything possible to gain viewership, to gain better ratings for her program than how Season 1, aka Part 1, turned out to be on Netflix. And that's exactly why she's dragging or attempting to drag politics into the equation of With Love, Meghan Season 2. However, with Meghan Markle still dealing with multiple issues related to her failing career in Hollywood, one significant development going on now involves more to do with a recent moment of outrage between both Meghan Markle and Kamala Harris. Not so shockingly, since Meghan, of course, also had recent issues with Gavin Newsom related to his cameo for With Love, Meghan. Now, a major update to this entire situation now involves how the plans for Kamala Harris making her cameo for episode 4 of season 2 also recently faced serious setbacks after Kamala Harris went out of control during the reshoots for With Love, Meghan. Now, it turns out that Harris grew very angry with Meghan Markle once Meghan decided to demand Netflix producers to do multiple takes for the 10-minute cameo scene between herself and Harris. Now, it turns out that Meghan kept forgetting her lines and talking points to bring up the conversation of Kamala's announcement to run for California governor. A shocking development there, though, that came out of this was that this was going to be the destination of Kamala Harris announcing her run for governor of California. Now, these plans all fell apart after Meghan Markle also kept bringing up unscripted talking points, get this, about how she felt when she lost to Donald Trump. Harris kept pressuring Markle to stop bringing up Trump, and that much like Gavin Newsom, she wanted to focus on herself and herself only during the scene and did not want to go off script. Now, Meghan reportedly kept doing this over and over to the point where Kamala Harris snapped at Meghan Markle and her entire team, including the Netflix producers, and walked off the set. Harris ended up raising her voice at Meghan Markle behind the scenes that she is very time-consuming to her valuable time and that she has places to be. Harris even labeled Meghan Markle as unprofessional and unorganized, and as someone who doesn't deserve her announcement as running for governor to be placed on her program. Now, guys, let me just stop there for one moment. Now, the fact that even Kamala Harris actually insulted Meghan Markle and put her on the spot, for someone as low as Kamala Harris to do that, that is very telling. That is really just showing a lot of major red flags right now about how bad this season really is going for Netflix, its producers, its executives, and how their overall plans to create shock and awe for the series is not working. And so far, Meghan is actually really going to sabotage mode, right? She went off script, she kept bringing up Donald Trump, and she kept, of course, trying to put Kamala Harris in the hot seat, all for stirring up drama to make that episode a little bit more interesting for episode 4, specifically. And something very similar happened with Gavin Newsom. We talked about this twice. That was a very interesting turn of events, but it wasn't quite as bad as this, because, well, Gavin is still trying to actually stay connected to Netflix and this actual program in particular. Now, Harris is actually walking out. She wants nothing to do with Meghan Markle ever again, and this is where it really begins to get very interesting here. Now, Harris is reportedly already in the process of parting ways with Netflix, at least for this show, and wants out immediately, which is said to serve as a major blow for Meghan Markle. It even got to a point where Kamala Harris even pointed her finger at Meghan Markle on the set, where she informed her that she was very offended over Markle's claims, of course, and bringing up Trump's victory multiple times. Her voice was said to be very loud and argumentative in nature, and she even stormed out of the rented house destination, which served as a filming location for Meghan Markle and Harris. As of now, Harris wants nothing to do with Meghan Markle ever again on television when it comes to a show or a series or whatever, after she brought up Trump multiple times and how he actually won his presidential race well over Kamala Harris. She was very offended over that. She was, of course, very much concerned over the fact that Meghan Markle kept going off script. As of now, though, Harris wants nothing to do with her ever again. Now, Meghan's argument, get this, was that without bringing up Trump, there would be no interest in Kamala's cameo. This was told straight to Kamala's face, and it really created an uproar from Harris and her team and even her security. It took a total of 12 takes just for Meghan Markle to get halfway through the cameo scene with Harris. Now look, we have two individuals here that tend to actually have a lot of word salad. I can only imagine, even with the script, what this actually would have looked like on camera. Now, the fact that now all of this is beginning to backfire in the midst of these reshoots at the tail end of all things of the reshoots for season 2 really makes you wonder, what is episode 4 going to look like now? Well, if Kamala Harris stays in her lane in politics and stays away from, Netflix and doesn't want to associate herself with Meghan Markle ever again, that's a big, chunk out of the episode that's going to be missing. A total of 10 to 11 minutes approximately will be erased. Now, look, we already know that Meghan Markle only used politics as a way to gain viewership for this show. A show about cooking of all things, which nobody's interested in at all to begin with. But when you look at it, in the past, right? With season 1, there was none of that. There were no politics, there was none of that nonsense. Meghan Markle really shouldn't even get into politics. She's not really supposed to do that. We are all very aware about that, but she was going against those rules. Another thing that just goes to show you how narcissistic Meghan Markle really is, that she's willing to go against the rules when it comes to her title. And the fact that she's also bringing in Gavin Newsom still to this day. They're still trying to work out a plan for his cameo. As of now, though, Kamala Harris, she wants nothing to do with Meghan Markle ever again, after she kept bringing up Trump and how, significant his victory was above Harris. And she was just getting offended over that time and time again. Now look, that's not to say that Meghan Markle is a supporter of Trump by any means, but we all know that she wanted to actually create a lot of drama on the set. She wanted to actually talk trash about Trump. She wanted to have Kamala Harris talk trash about him as well. And that would have backfired too, alright? Because we all know that there's a large portion of us in the United States, alright, that have differing opinions when it comes down to politics, and it would have gone all over the place for a show about cooking of all things. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.